it makes me wonder about the families that will go watch their superhero Batman movie, take the children, and then go, wait a minute. What? This is so R-rated. What is going on there, Reject Nation? Yeah, we heard about this, and I really wanted to talk about this because I find it kind of odd. The Batman is practically rated R, yet it's got a PG-13 rating. And I wanted to discuss this because...
That's what is rated PG-13 for, is being practically rated R.
Yeah.
This is the caption says.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because it just boggles my mind. The plain and simple truth. I want to talk about a little bit of why I think this could upset some audiences down the road too. Why I think it probably upsets some people right now as well. I think it's an interesting discussion to actually be had, something that could be a little bit poignant, which we will not do. We're just going to make stupid jokes the whole time. But guys, if you're here, take a batarang to that like button. Let's dump into this. All right, so here's what the Batman is rated PG-13 for. And honestly, like, if you did not know it was rated PG-13, if you heard a movie was rated something for this, strong, violent, and disturbing content, drug content, strong language. These are just words that I get afraid to say, that YouTube will like hear me say that and go demonetized. Like,
these are words I want my young teenager to pick up. All right.
And then here is exactly why this movie is not rated R, the very tail end, and some suggestive material. Let's face facts. Out here in the States especially, you could be strong, violent. Like, when I hear strong, violent, disturbing content, that's like R-rated violence, right? Like, that's where your mind goes. I can't think of the last time. I'm sure maybe there's a version of this that exists, but I really don't know of a PG-13 movie that was PG-13 and had strong, violent, and disturbing content associated with it. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny to me because, you know, money and the rating system obviously intermingle, and from my point of view, I feel like they have gotten a lot more effective in recent years at making PG-13 movies feel brutal and violent, and it's just a matter of literally not having blood. It boggles me a little bit, but I can also very much
sounds
see...
like blood.
But that's the thing, yeah. And then you watch, you know, the trailer and you see that like really personal looking beatdown, and you're like, this seems like it would lead to some disturbing developments and some bloody altercation.
And then they say strong language in here, and I'm like, what do you mean? I thought we had an F-word rule here.
You got 2 F-words in this movie. They say shit
but
55
what if it's
times.
PG-13? They say some strong language.
Yeah.
Strong language is our rating, but when it says some suggested material, that means it's not that sexual, so we can get away with it.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be very, very tastefully cropped when Selena Kyle and Batman finally get together a little bit, but it's not going to be anything you can't show your young teenager. Like,
I think the rumors of Robert Pattinson doing Zoe Kravitz on the Batmobile are completely false now.
No.
I believed it until now.
Yeah, that's right. It's just been cut down a bit. They've just CG'd on like a cape over them, so it's appropriate for the whole family. You know,
it's just funny because there's nothing more human than sexuality. It's such a human thing,
and it's corrupting the youth.
It's corrupting us. It's ruining us. Don't let them get interested in it super early on, but we can show them as much violent, disturbing stuff as we want, right?
Keep them from having sex by inspiring them toward violence. Yeah,
and it's not fair because there's so many movies that have gotten R ratings for things that because of like sexual related things. We're like, guys, it's not pornography. This is fine. This is fine. We don't need to go rated R for this.
Bodies are not suggestive.
But what's weird to me about this is when you have a rating such as this, it makes me wonder about the families that will go watch their superhero Batman movie, take the children to watch it, and then go, wait a minute. What? This is so R-rated. Because what did the PG-13 stem because, was it Indiana Jones 2 or was it Gremlins? I can't remember which one it was.
I think it might have been Temple of Doom.
I think it was.
Or it was probably like a combination, close together.
It was like Temple of Doom was like PG, but it was very violent. So we're like, we need to do something about this rating system.
Yeah,
we need something in the middle here.
Another notch up.
Yeah.
Because show hearts get ripped out.
Yeah, 100%.
The following movie is rated PG.
So, when I think about what this is, I'm like, oh man, this could be like the film that stirs the debate. And I'm at the point, I'm like, why don't you just make this rated R? Just go rated R. I think you can sell more tickets at this point. The first R-rated Batman movie, and it looks R-rated, and everything you're saying it's R-rated for. So that's what I mean. The dichotomy of it will come into play, and then there'll be future movies that get R ratings when you're like, but the Batman is PG-13.
Yeah, I'm really curious because I feel like an R-rated Batman movie is going to happen at some point, and I feel like, especially in light of films like Joker, that's more and more and more likely. However, I feel like we're still holding on, or at least WB, whoever, is still holding on to that crossroads of like, but it's Batman. We can always make more money if it's PG-13. Yeah. And so I feel like this one is going to be one of those movies that they probably have orchestrated to straddle that line and feel like it's an R-rated movie, but pull just enough punches back so that they can technically squeeze by. So ultimately, I actually don't imagine it hindering the film too much, but at the same time...
it won't hinder it at all, no.
But at the same time, it does very much feel like, and you know, we've had a couple of trailers before this rating was revealed, it feels very much like R-rated, like they want us to get excited for R-rated material.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the influences are heavily David Fincher serial killer movies.
Yeah.
And not one of those is PG-13.
No, it's not a fun family rom.
No, yeah, it's like the PG-13 movies that he's done are not serial killer movies for a reason.
Hey man, Panic Room, something.
And then like thematically, what this movie would be exploring, especially with the the complexity of what it means to be a hero and going for the most grounded, realistic approach. Yeah, it would make sense to me that this would be rated R. I just think it's a really interesting conversation. Like the MPAA rating system is a really weird one, and like there's this great film I saw on Netflix ages ago. I think it's called "This Film Is Not for Your Consideration," something like that.
This film is not yet rated.
Yes, that's the one. I saw that. This is when like Netflix streaming was like brand spanking new, like when it was only crap on Netflix usually. And then I watched this, and it really exposed, because no one knew who's like rating, who are the people rating these movies. And how there's a weird infrastructure to here of like, why are some of these rated R and some of these aren't, when it's like this one's clearly worse. Yeah, you do, they do exposure on it, and you see like the people like with when they hire a PI, like a lot of them are like big time studio mofos who are controlling this.
There's a lot more than decency at play with these ratings, and there's a lot of gaming of that system. I mean, people shoot things to be more intense than they intend them to finally cut as, because they know they'll be asked to take stuff out, so they'll use that to their advantage, which I wonder if happened maybe here, because it does look brutal. So I wonder if they maybe shot some bloody stuff as sacrificial lambs to get more content in there.
Well, guys, what do you think about this? How freaking strange is this to you? Because this... I bet he wanted some sexual stuff and they cut it out.
When's the first Batman movie with a graphic sex scene? That's what I want to know. That's what I will be surprised to see someday.
Paul Verhoeven's The Batman.
Please, I want it. I want it. Elizabeth Berkley as Barbara Gordon.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. What do you think about this piece of news? Does it shock you at all? No, not really. Like, whatever.
You knew this was coming, Pete.
I think it's a weird one.
Just thought they would maybe skip this opportunity to not go rated R.